Yo, what's going on, everybody in the YouTube world? It's your boy TouchToneDSG. I'm back at it here with another video because I get a lot of questions in my DMs and in my Discords like, what plugins am I using? So I wanted to compile a list of plugins that I use on the daily and some that I don't use on every mix, but I do like the way they sound. There's a bit of a problem. While doing that, I quickly found that that list exploded to more than just 10 because I wanted to keep it at 10 to keep it somewhat short and just show you guys what I use. And while doing this video and prepping myself for it, I quickly realized that showing you 10 plugins, just what I use, and then showing you how to use them is two different videos. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to show you the plugins, quickly what they do, but then in another video that will be on my Patreon, I'm going to show you detailed step-by-step what sonic character I'm going for and why I mainly use it, and really when and how to use it. So that's going to be on my Patreon. That's going to be up soon. If you join my Discord, link will be at the bottom. That is probably the best way to contact me and actually have a conversation with more detailed questions than DMs. I don't really like doing social media that much. I know I got a brand and I'm supposed to, but that's just kind of the way I get down. Last thing before we get started, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. That really helps the channel. Also, I'm going to have a Patreon going up, and on my Patreon, there's going to be different tiers for folks that want to interact more, that maybe like want a one-on-one coaching, especially when it comes to your studio stuff, hybrid studio, etc. The link will be in the description for that as well. And let's get to it. All right, so these aren't in any particular order. It's just what I use most of the time. Let's get into that. So first up on the list is God Particle. And I'm sure everyone uses this, or a lot of folks use this. So God Particle, and I just really like the way that it sounds. Most times I do take the limiter off and I mix into it, but this is what it does for your sound. If you are listening on headphones, turn it down because I'm going to use the limiter and it's going to come on and whatnot. And also, make sure you're listening on good monitors or headphones because most of these are very subtle, but that's my thing with mixing is all the subtleties add up to a bigger picture. If you can press one knob or mix a couple things and you can hear what you're doing, like very audibly, you're doing way too much. I just wanted to be honest with you there. So let's get into it. All right, so this is with God Particle off. If you look at the mix bus in Ableton, the master bus here, I'm just under -6 decibels of headroom here, but I'm gonna turn it on and you're gonna hear what it does. So that's God Particle, and a couple things about it. It's got these ranges here to where that you mix in, so you know where about you want to be, or Jason Joshua says you should be when you're mixing, and where he usually is. And if you're under these ranges here, you got these makeup gains or makeup gains at certain frequencies, almost like a multi-band EQ to kind of get you there. So check it out. Like you can see my lows are smashed. Yeah, and so it's not like this track has a ton of high to mid range. It's mainly the low end and that mid range, but there's not a ton of highs going on here. So that's the first plugin I use. And once again, I'll be going way into detail on how I use this when I mix into it on my Patreon. So that's the first one, God Particle. So the second one on this list is kind of a newbie. It came out of nowhere. I've been using it for a couple months now. That's Master Plan. And Master Plan, to me, is really freaking good. I find myself reaching to this more just because I really like the way it sounds. It's clean. And that's my mix style, is I mix clean. I add saturation when I have to. I don't go for a ton of color. And this to me gets you there. It's loud. The highs sound really good on this, better than the God particle. The high information that it recovers or adds. And the whiff knob is pretty dope too, but I use other plugins for that, mainly hardware. The SPL Big is what I use. I love that for width. I haven't found anything comes close to it. So let's check out the master plan. Now, what I usually do with this is, I don't know if there's like an auto trim on this thing. I don't think so. If it is, let me know in the comments. Maybe I just haven't found it, played with it enough. But I usually use a utility afterwards so I can actually hear if what I'm doing is working, if it's helping, if it's enhancing, and not just making it louder, because perceived loudness, you automatically think, yo, this is way better. And most of the times it's not. So I usually put the utility on and just gain stage with it and see if it works. So that's master plan. So third on this list. No. You were gone. Sorry about that. Let's keep moving. Third on this list is one that came out of nowhere for me, and that's Navy by Audio Acustica. I absolutely love this plugin. It's an emulation of the 1073, the Neve. It sounds good, and most of the time, to be honest with you, I don't even do anything. I just run sources through it to give it that color, because it makes it just kind of stand out, and especially in the mids, and it just brings it up front. And I'll show you here. Most times I use this on vocals. I have a couple sessions and I can't let you guys hear that music, so I'm gonna use this on the sample here because it does have a vocal in it. But watch what it does just by engaging this plugin. Just listen to what it does. So actually, let's put this on the mix bus so you guys can hear it better. Subtlety is your friend here, so check it out. Did you hear that? Listen, it's subtle. I love this plugin. I use it a lot. It can be heavy for sure. But once again, that's Navy. And I'll be going more into detail with that and showing you how to get certain sounds with that as well. Okay, so fourth up on this list is Purple by Audio Acustica again. And in my opinion, it is the best emulation of the Pultec out there. I know the UAD one is really good. I have that as well. This one is a little smoother and the high end is a little better on it. And I'm gonna put it on the mix bus here and just listen to like what it does off and on. It's really, really good. right, so we got a little amplitude, we got a little energy there on the mix bus afterwards, but to me, honestly, I just like the way this thing sounds, man. So that is the Pultec. If you don't have that one, I would highly recommend picking this one up. Okay, so I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. If you are, give it a thumbs up, make sure you like it, and subscribe to the channel. I know I'm gonna keep saying that, but I'm really trying to grow to at least 50K within this year. So let's do that. So fifth up on this list is quite a bit of a sleeper. I think it might be a free plugin. When I got it, it was free or something like that. It is the Apogee, the limiter, the soft limiter by Apogee. This thing sounds incredible, especially on the mix bus, especially on like your drum bus as well. Listen to what it does. Dude, that thing is crazy. I use that so much. And once again, it's subtle, but when you A/B it, it's around the same. I also gain stages as well. So when you can hear it go in and out, you're gaining this extra amplitude, but you're not gaining any kind of levels on your mix bus here. Check it out again. Off. I mean, come on, tell me that is not crazy. And it's got a sound. I don't really know how to describe that sound. It's round, I can tell you that, especially at the top end. So that is the Apogee. All right, so for my sixth plugin that I use quite a bit, and this one is just really to create separation, create some room in the mix and space. It's called Tube Modular by Audioretori or Audiority, whatever, I don't know. But I use this a lot just to create some space. And really what it does is I'm gonna use it on this percussion here, and I'm just gonna solo it so you can hear what it's doing to this percussion sample. Make sure you're listening in headphones. Like if you look at that little ball, that is what it's doing to the percussion. So you could create all kinds of space in the mix. Almost like Shaper Box, but a little bit different because there's a couple other things you can do. You can increase the rate, the vibe, like literally all of that. But let's hear that with the track. I'm gonna turn it off and watch what it does. It created some room in the high end. So what I heard that it did is it created some room in the high end, but you can still hear the shaker and whatnot. So, and once again, I go into more detail on my Patreon video. All right, for number 7, I'm sure a lot of you guys know this already, but Shaper Box 3. And I don't want to get into the weeds on this, but this one is incredible. I love this plugin. I use it a lot for the timing, for the volume, for the panning, the drive, like literally everything. The noise is really dope on this. If you are familiar with cable guys, you are definitely familiar with this one. I don't want to get into like everything it does. You want to see more in detail, you already know what to do. By the way, all the links for these plugins will be in the description themselves. So if you did want to check them out and maybe it's something for you in your studio, those are affiliate links that helps me make more videos like this. So I do appreciate you guys, every last one of you, even if you don't agree with me leaving the big 6. All right, and we're up to number 8 on this list. This one, I feel like a lot of people don't know about, but this plugin is by Leapweek Audio, and it's called Stage 1. You can use it for width, but it got so much more. You can...
Yeah.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna exaggerate it so you guys can clearly hear what it does. And then I'll back it down and do more of a typical use case, and I'll A/B in that. All right, I'm gonna A/B it. Yeah, it's subtle. I mean, it could be very extreme, as you heard, but I use it for its subtlety, and it just opens up the mix. And I really like that because, once again, I'm just pecking away, and getting to that desired sound, that desired tone, and shaping of the mix that I want. So I really like this one. 9th on this list is something I use a lot because I'm kind of a, I don't want to say a perfectionist, but I like to be as close as I can to a source with gain staging as I can possible. And if a plugin doesn't have like auto gain or anything of that nature, the gain recovery, whatever, I use this plugin, and it's really cool because you have to use 2 instances of it. So this plugin by Let It Mix, it's called Gain Match. And what you do is you put a source at the beginning of your sound, and then you also put a source at the end. And as you see here, you got a before and after. So let's take a listen to this on the bass and see how this sounds, and watch what I'm doing as it automatically matches. Pretty cool, right? So what you can do, which I typically do, is get something, and let's just say you want to drive the color on it. We can do that. So let's find something where we can match the color here. So I'm gonna use the Dirty Tape by Softtube. I love this for color and saturation. Let's just see what it does. Check this out. So cool, man. Yo, I love that. And I'm doing like way more than I usually would, but that's so cool because it like brought the high end up more on that bass, and it just kind of made it even like increased the width of it. But I love these plugins because you can get there really fast, and that's how I like to work. It's just fast. So that was the Gain Match plugins. Okay, so here at number 10, I already have it on this track, and that's Soothe. I mean, literally, I'm just sidechaining Soothe right now because Soothe is the fastest recovering thing I've ever heard. And shout out to Jason Joshua for that one. But I use this on a bevy of sources. I'm sure most of you are already familiar with Soothe and we're at number 10 here. And without this video running too long, I got some honorable mentions. Like I said, this list was absolutely crazy. Check this out. The first honorable mention is Pro Q3, and I didn't put this like high in the list. It's something I always use, which I use it every single track, and it is my Desert Island plugin. People ask that a lot. What's your number one plugin? It's Pro Q3, because you can do so much with it. So that's the first honorable mention. The next honorable mention is the Knock Clipper by Decap and Plugins That Knock. This clipper sounds so good. I use it like on a lot of different sources that most people just wouldn't use them on, and it sounds so freaking good. It really helps me get to my destinations faster. I make faster and quicker decisions with this as well. And it's got a nice saturation when it clips. So that is the second honorable mention. My third honorable mention here, the CL1B by SoftTube. I mean, what can you say about this? You guys probably already know its history, the sources that it's used on a lot. I really love this plugin. I use this on vocals pretty freaking heavy, and bass. I use this on bass a lot as well. My fourth honorable mention here is going to be the Sony Oxford. I wish that you could resize this. That's kind of my biggest complaint about this, with a couple other plugins like Masterplan as well. But this one, come on. This is a classic and a goodie. This is still really good. It finds its way on a lot of my mixes still to this day. I use it in a couple of different sources, mainly groups. So yeah, I love this Oxford. And the list goes on and on and on. So not to keep the video super long, I will be going over all the rest of my honorable mentions over on my Patreon once again. And I'll just be going into detail. I'm going to go live with you guys. So therefore, if you want to ask me some questions, make sure you sign up for that. And if you want to say, hey, also what plugins are in your top 10, let me know in the comments below. That's going to be about it, guys. I got something super special coming for you. Please stay tuned to the channel. I think this is going to help out a lot of people, and the folks that I've partnered with, this is going to be incredible. And I'm just not saying that. Y'all know I don't be capping. I have no loyalty to any of this gear, to any of these plugins. I have a loyalty to what is the best outcome. That is it. So if you're an owner of the Big Six and you want to know a little bit more information of why I left the Big Six and move on to something, make sure you watch this video here. But until next time, guys, TBR, baby. Peace.